Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Toon Review for this morning's press conference reaction. As usual, I'm here. My name's Paul, and it's Billy Bob with me again to chat about what Eddie had to say ahead of the huge game tomorrow night at St James's Park, where, of course, Brentford are the visitors in the Carabao Cup Quarter-Finals. As usual, if you do enjoy the show, please give it the thumbs up. And if you are new and you like what you see, please do subscribe as well. That is free to do so. You can support the channel in the usual two ways. The join button for membership is just underneath me and Billy. And, of course, super chats are available. That's the $ at the bottom of the live comments. And that will also guarantee your comment to be read out live on the show. What else is there? Yes, there's Mamaroo Records, isn't there? I don't want to forget our sponsors. If you're ever in Whitley Bay, please go and visit Steve at Mamaroo Records right in the middle of the town centre, where you can pick up your vinyl, your CDs, your music merchandise. They do a bit of sporting merchandise as well, gift cards. They've got it all. So perfectly in time for Christmas if you're ever in that area. Or if you can't do that, then you can check them out online. That is pinned at the top of the show description. So once again, a big thank you to Mamaroo Records. Billy, are you wide awake there?
I've got something in my eye. Getting
By the way, if anyone caught the very, very start of the show before the opening credits start there, it quickly flashed up me and Billy as Billy was having a yawn. I don't know whether anybody caught that, but it sort of briefly flashes on. Anyway, how are we, Billy?
I am tired. I was up really early this morning because I had the broadband fellow come in.
Yes, you did. You did.
So I'm quite tired. But good morning to all you beautiful people out there in Viewerland.
Indeed. Well, Eddie spoke ahead of the press conference. It was a very strange one this morning because, there didn't seem to be... I didn't get that kind of excitement for a cup game. It was very sort of down to earth. Some of the questions were, again, very strange. But Billy, the big news, obviously, last night was that Sven Botman was back on a football pitch, which was great to see him played an hour. Fantastic
news, isn't it? That's the first step now. Yeah. I imagine a few more games like that, and he'll be ready to join the first team squad, and then obviously on the bench, and then back into the first team because we've missed him, haven't we? We really missed him.
Yeah,
quality player, and apparently he did pretty well. So
he did, yeah. No, he was asked about Botman, obviously, and he said he was good last night. He seemed in a good place. We exchanged text messages. His movement was good, commanding, and a big presence on the pitch. We've missed him. That was a good step for him to get back on the pitch, and we are looking at the end of December or start of January. Give him a few more games to get him back on track. So I think he's going to play for the youngsters a few more times, Billy. There's no change to his time frame really for coming back, and I think that's important, Billy, because everybody sees him play and plays for an hour yesterday and instantly thinks, all right, yeah, he's back on a football pitch, but it doesn't work like that, does it?
No, it can't be rushed, especially with something as serious as a knee ligament injury.
Yeah,
take your time. They said it'd be the end of December, beginning of January when he did it, so he's on track for that, and that's great, isn't it? That's all we need. Don't rush him back, absolutely not. There are some managers that would, but we're okay with it at the minute without popping in the side. Yeah, I mean, it must be tempting to put him in, but clearly not. Yeah, it's got to be.
Absolutely, the temptation will be there. There's no doubt about that, but they have to be very careful with him.
Absolutely.
Miley played another 45, so he's well on the way back to. I mean, he's played a few games now for the under 21s. So, Eddie was very, very confident about him coming back as well. Now, news has just come in, Billy, that Mudryk has been suspended because of a failed drugs test.
I saw that. Yeah.
A player who we were linked with a couple of weeks ago, of course.
Yes.
Which, I mean, that's not a surprise that we're linked to a player, but Mudryk certainly won't be on that list anymore. I guarantee it.
I think you'll get a lengthy ban for that if he's found guilty of that.
Absolutely. For me, that's, you see players getting banned for a year for betting irregularities as well. And I think that should be the case with certainly drug enhancement as well, if not worse. To be fair, you're trying to improve your physical self. Now, Eddie was asked about momentum, which has obviously been a big, big thing for, I guess, Eddie and the Newcastle United players over the last, several weeks. They've all said it in the interviews, whether that be post-match or, when they spoke to newspaper reporters and things like that during the week. All the players have mentioned momentum and consistency. Eddie he was asked about it, and he said those two games have been really good performances, talking about Leicester and Liverpool. The problem for us was Brentford's sandwiched in between it, and we didn't like ourselves in that one. We back ourselves from an attacking sense with the players we have, and it was good to see us score the goals we did at the weekend. Our only focus is on Brentford and winning this match. I don't think it matters if it's a cup game, Billy, because this consistency that we're talking about here, and that needs to rapidly improve. You know, we've been confident before, and we've been very, especially against the lower teams, I guess, maybe saying that we should easily win these games, but there's nothing like an easy game or anything like that anymore. But when you're at home to Brentford after a very, very good performance against Leicester, you do expect, the expectation rises, doesn't it? And I think as fans, we probably entitled to do that.
Well, it's a home tie. I mean, any home tie would have settled for. The fact we got Brentford was a massive plus to me. And we have to be confident. However, after watching us play against Brentford 10 days ago, I'm not so confident as I was when the draw was made, I must say.
Yeah.
If they come to St James's Park with the pace they've got up front and want to win the game, they can do that with our goalkeeper being out, with our two centre-backs being slow. So we're going to have to improve many folds to be able to beat them. We've got to play well tomorrow. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah. Some people asking if you're suffering from a cold, Billy. I'm
suffering with everything today.
I mean, you've definitely got a Fergie nose. Have you been on the wine, Billy?
Absolutely not. I think it's cold.
Yeah, it's winter, mate. It's winter. It's early in the morning. It's NUFC Ollie says, did Asula look good when he came on against Leicester? I didn't catch the game. He did all right. I think it was a shame he didn't come on earlier, wasn't it, Billy? Because I think we could have seen a little bit more for him, given how awful Leicester were. But we were playing well, and I think maybe a bit longer on the pitch might have been nice to see Asula. But, you know, I mean, he came on, didn't he? But he wasn't... He wasn't standout or anything.
We saw the pace, we saw the power, but what we also saw was a bit of naivety.
Yeah.
We could have fed Harvey Barnes in, didn't do it, delayed the pass too long. In the end, he forced Harvey Barnes too far wide. Had he looked up straight away, Harvey Barnes would have scored. So we saw a little bit of naivety.
Now, Turpy is saying in the chat, Billy, that Mudrik's looking at a 4-year ban.
Well,
Jesus Christ, it makes you wonder, as Turpy says, what the hell has he been taking to be threatened with a 4-year ban? That's incredible. Absolutely incredible.
If he's not playing football, then he might have obligations to do other things the way his country is currently going under.
Well,
a massive life change for him.
Yeah. Ruffy Benissian says it doesn't say what the substance is. If he's taken an OTC without consulting the doctor first and it contains a banned substance, then he's a silly boy. We will have to wait and see if accidental or otherwise. A lot of people say, well, a few people saying that that Mudryk deal was dodgy from the start.
It might be recreational drugs. We don't know, do we?
Well, absolutely. I mean, if it's recreational, it's his own fault. I know addiction is a horrible thing, whether it be drugs, alcohol, or gambling. But we'll have to wait till the full story comes out. Spike says it's great that they admit the problem and try to deal with it. I don't know whether he's talking about our consistency or the Mudryk situation there. If
he's admitted to it, of course. He might not admit to it. He might just got caught in a random drugs test, won't he?
Yeah. Now, it was Eddie spoke about obviously the consistency side of things, Billy, and then he was went into saying, look, if it's if we're looking at a one-on-one conversation with the players, then it's brought up, but it's very rarely brought up in group conversations because they're focusing on something else.
I'm not with you.
The consistency. They don't talk
about the mental.
The mental side of it. He'd rather do that on a one-to-one basis.
Well, of course he would, but unfortunately he's not able to because every other week we lose. We've got to build some momentum first before we can start talking about it. Yeah. I think if we were to beat Brentford tomorrow and Ipswich, that to me is momentum. That to me is
hell.
Then the job done.
I mean, that's what we need to look for, isn't it? I mean, we all said that this week was huge coming up, obviously, with the two Premier League games against opposition that you'd probably fancy in yourselves again, despite the inconsistencies. And then the cup game bang in the middle. That the cup game alone, a good cup win, semi-final, that creates a bit of, certainly for me as a fan, a lot of optimism moving into the new year.
100%, 100%, absolutely. Get ourselves, get ourselves through to that semi-finals. Put that to the back burner. Then you can concentrate your league form. The nice one, the game's coming now where we should really win some. Yeah. More than we lose, definitely. Yeah. Maybe all, who knows? And then see where we are then. But it's up to us. It's up to our players. It is. Absolutely. The benchmark's been laid. You shouldn't step below that now.
Mudrick has made a statement saying this has come as a complete shock, as I have never knowingly used a banned substance or broken any rules, and I'm working closely with my team to investigate. It sounds like it's going to be one of those, Billy. I didn't realise I did this or I didn't do that.
I've never knowingly drank 20 pints and had to keep up afterwards either. Exactly.
How the hell do you stand after 20 pints, Billy? That's the question. Bloody hell. That's impressive. Marx is looking well Rudolph, Billy. Is it not the Christmas lurgies?
Could be. Could well be.
I mean, it's a good job you're not playing Santa Claus anywhere at the minute, or you would have to change to Rudolph.
I'd have to, yeah. Can't be in two places at once, though.
That's very true. Now, having home advantage obviously is very important in the Cup, and Eddie said that gives us a great feeling. We have such a powerful force at home with our supporters, and we need to execute our plan well and continue where we left off against Leicester. Now, this was a host of answers that he gave regarding the performances at home, making sure that you go out there with the right mentality and you keep that mentality throughout the game. He was very impressed with that against Leicester City, and he wants to continue that against Brentford, but also made the statement that Brentford are a very, very different side to Leicester, of course, and that Thomas Frank will come looking to win the game. It's two teams and two managers who very much go out there to win games and don't try and draw.
Well, for one, Thomas Frank has at his disposal an arsenal of really quick and tricky forward players that are good finishers as well. Mm-hmm. He might throw in Sharda tomorrow to play alongside Visser and Umbuemo. Who knows? Depends how high up on the priority list the Carabao Cup is for Brentford. But they've got this far; they may as well carry on with it, mightn't they?
Well, that's the thing, and that's what everybody needs to realise. That if this was maybe the third round or earlier games, then maybe both sides would massively change it up. But Eddie alluded to it in his press conference. He was asked the question of team selection and all the teams now that get to this stage of the Cup, especially with the European players at stake. Once you get to the sort of this round, that's when you're looking at Wembley in a possible cup final. And for teams like Newcastle United and Brentford, it's massive. We were there 2 seasons ago. We know what it means to the fan base, to the club, etc. The day out was just an unbelievable experience. We want that again. And this time we want to come away with a trophy. But on Brentford's side of things, Billy, they'll be looking at it thinking, well, we stuffed Newcastle last week. Yes, it's at St. James's Park, but we know how we can play against them, so more of the same.
100%. It's a 50-50 game to me. It really is. They're going to. I think both sides have to kind of alternate. Sure, Longstaff, for instance, is banned from tomorrow's game.
He is.
So we don't see him at all.
Yeah.
And I don't know what Brentford have got in mind, but they had players on the bench against us in the league, the likes of Ben Mee and people like that, and Norgard, and didn't even get on the side of Jan Alt. Didn't even get on a pitch. So they've got a bit of depth in their squad. It'll be interesting.
Yeah, they've got some players to come in, but I mean, I haven't heard from Thomas Frank. I haven't seen what he's had to say ahead of the game. But what I will say, and I'll reiterate again, this is a huge game for both sides. For both sides. And Eddie said that he hopes the atmosphere is red hot at St. James's Park. Now, given the run to the cup final 2 years ago, the home games were incredible. The atmosphere was unbelievable. So if we can create that again, and then hopefully take that next step to the semi-final, because it is momentum building, Billy. You've got to see it that way. A cup run like that, getting to the semi-final. It doesn't matter who we're playing the semi-finals. We know we can perform against the big teams.
100%. 100%. But the thing is, it's over 2 legs, isn't it? I wouldn't fancy Liverpool over 2 legs. I must be honest.
Well, maybe, but at the same time, Billy, you just never know what Newcastle.
But they might rotate though, because they've got Champions League, they've got League.
They have. Yep.
but their kids are as good as most people's first teams. You've got to give them credit for that.
Yeah.
Well, get past Brentford, see who we get, and then we can kind of evaluate from there.
Yeah.
Southampton might knock out Liverpool like they did Man City a couple of years ago when we got them in the semi-finals.
Yeah, you just don't know, and especially
at the same time they beat Man City. You know,
they've sacked their manager as well. Russell Martin's gone, so
I think they just sacked Noodle as well, hadn't they, at that time?
Ralph Hoodle. Yes, I believe so.
It's a plan.
Absolutely. Liam says, my arse is like a rabbit's nose. I think Brentford might be our banana skin club like Southampton used to be in the mid-90s. Oh, God, they did, Lemon Tea says...
since we've been in the Premier League, haven't they?
Yeah. Lemon Tea says, we must win. If we dump the cup against Brentford, the heat is straight back on Eddie. We must perform well in the cup and finish in a European spot.
I agree.
I think Eddie Howe knows how big this is because he said it's a huge tournament, not just for him as a manager, but for the fans. And he did state numerous times that he really wants to win a trophy at Newcastle. He reiterated that 3 or 4 times during his press conference. And he said that, mainly he wants to win for the fans who've given him the support since he's been at the club. It's something to give back. And the players are obviously aware of that, but he doesn't talk about that with the players. It's just very much the next game, and we get through this. We move on to Ipswich at the weekend.
Yeah, it's a massive thing for us to win the trophy. 55 years of hurt still going on. If we can break that duck, yeah. They say it's the hardest is to win the first one. After that, it might come a bit more natural to us. So get that first one on the board. Could be this year, could next year, even this season. And then this big monkey's off our back, then, isn't it?
It is. I think it's more of a gorilla, Billy, than a monkey.
Yeah.
Silverback. Choppy, good morning to you. He says it was more Matthew Letizia that was the bogey with the Toon. God, it was. I mean, some of them goals he scored at the Dell were just simply incredible. Incredible strikes. Do you remember that one where he flicked over? Was it Kevin Scott?
Yeah.
He flicked it over his head, and then, oh my God. He
did 2 in about 3 minutes, didn't he?
Oh, he battered us that night. Absolutely battered us. But it was a very difficult place to go, the Dell. It was all very compact, and the nets, Billy, the goals used to be so tight that if you shot it in the net, it would fly back out again. And
another one of those Archibald Leach stadiums, wasn't it?
Yes, yeah.
Very old-fashioned,
very old-fashioned, but very famous in the time. Anyone on here watching the Usyk versus Fury fight this weekend?
Absolutely.
There's been a couple of people wanting you to watch along for that, Billy. Are you a boxing commentator?
Absolutely no chance of watching that with my lad. No chance in God's earth I'll be doing a watch along on that.
There you go. That's your answer. Right, let's get back to more comments from Eddie. Now, he did speak about Alex's favourite player, Billy, Martin Dubravka, and said that Martin played really well. I think he was very calm in possession and gave us a really good platform to build from at the back. A vastly experienced head. I think he can be very pleased with his return to the team. I actually agree with that because he was very good in possession, which is something that Nick Pope isn't.
Yeah, but Say did very well. I mean,
he didn't have nothing to do.
Imagine if he had some saves to make. Couldn't he made 3 or 4 saves? He'd have been the best goalkeeper ever lived. He had nothing to do. He literally all he had to do was pass it from one to another. That was it. Yeah. One save.
Yeah,
which
and that was
exactly his cap on.
Yeah, exactly. But listen, he's bound to say that, isn't he? Because he knows Dubravka is going to be his number one for weeks to come now. And from what I gather, I mean, a lot of people said that Vlachodimos might come in for the cup game. I still think he's playing Dubravka because I think Dubravka needs matches because he's going to be the Premier League goalkeeper.
There's a Saudi team in for Dubravka.
Yeah, apparently a deal is agreed for January. But we need Dubravka.
It's just our luck, isn't it?
Yeah, well, of course it is. But we need if he's going to play Dubravka, which it seems like he is in the Premier League, he'll probably play him in the cup game because he needs the match, not experience, but you know what I mean. He needs to play games to get back up to match speed.
Yeah, I agree.
So, I mean, look, everyone will have the say on Dubravka. We just have to go with Eddie on it and see what he's like when he's really tested again, which I think he will be tomorrow. Brentford has certainly got the players to hurt us tomorrow.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. He can't be hesitant off and on his line. If he's going to come, he's got to go. He's got to go and not stop.
Yeah.
You know, if he's forced to make a sweepy keeping type thing. If not, the defence have to sit 10 yards deeper and makes them more dangerous, isn't it? So,
did you just say sweepy keepy?
Yeah. I did.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I don't think Dubravka's actually got that in his locker, but he's going to have to. Otherwise,
he's not quick enough off his line for me, Billy, to play that role.
But otherwise, then we've got Burn and Cher defending on the edge of the area, which might work, but it didn't have to make the pitch bigger for us.
Well, he went on to talk about Lewis Hall as well, and he says Lewis has been very consistent. He has been a shining light for us for someone so young. That is not easy to do. I think his technical ability has been outstanding. Defensively, he's been pretty good. How he has handled himself and his maturity on and off the pitch has been high level. You can see that in the way he plays, don't you? Right. You can see it.
This kid's going to be world class. I've got absolutely no doubt about it. And when I say world class for me means if you're going to pick an 11, you're in it. And if you're in that 11, you're world class. And I think he'll be the best left back in the world. No doubt in my mind.
Well, it's like I said the other night, Billy. You know, you look at the two players we've got on the left side, and they could easily be England's left side for years to come as well.
They could, yeah.
If they keep performing to the R, because what I like about Lewis Hall, Billy, is he's been in the team, and then he hasn't tried to do anything stupid. He hasn't been like Billy Big Shoes or anything like that. He's just continued to learn and do his job.
You know, I've seen some left backs in my time, and I've seen Stuart Pearce's first ever league appearance, which was for Coventry against QPR way back in '83. You can tell. You can just tell. Ashley Cole's another one. When he first started in the Arsenal team, you can tell. And Lewis Hall's another one like that. And they're the kind of the best three left backs I think I've ever seen play for England. So, you know,
I think, well, Ashley Cole was, whatever you think of him as a person, I think as a footballer, outstanding, absolutely outstanding. And that's the positive for me, is when you've got a player like that who is willing to learn. And obviously, Ashley Cole was willing to learn, and going in the same way that he did. Lewis Hall could have a massive future because he's got age on his side, Billy. He's still
exactly.
He's still a kid.
They're all different, and they're all different kind of types of left back. I mean, Stuart Pearce was an absolute psychopath, literally. That's why they called him Psycho. Didn't care, he'd tackle anything. Ashley Cole was quick, hard to get rid of, would go forward as well. And Lewis Hall's a technical one. He's got all the technical stuff, so all different kinds of left back fitting in modern day game. It's brilliant. He's brilliant. He really is.
Is he the next one, do you think, to get the big new contract? That's the question.
You would hope so. You would hope so, because we're going to have Wolves at our door looking for him. No doubt about that in my mind. No doubt in my mind.
Yep. Ruffy Benissian says, did anyone see Alice's video on us in the Leicester game? Had stats on Lewis Hall showing he's number 1 or 2 on stats for the top 5 leagues on FB's under 21. Well, look, I think Lewis Hall is probably one of the best left backs at the moment, form-wise, in the Premier League. There's no doubt about that.
Oh, he's the best. He's the best.
Exactly. He's up there, definitely up there. And you look across Europe. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say that he's the best in Europe, because he isn't. There's other left backs.
Theo Hernandez would be the best for me.
Yeah, there's a few ahead of him, but he can become that. If he keeps on with the progression he's making, he will undoubtedly become one of the best, if not the best. So I've got no doubt that this lad just continues, as long as he continues to keep his feet on the ground, Billy, and learn from Eddie and learn from the coaches and keep putting that into practice on the pitch, he will become the best.
This is it. He's 20. He's got another 13, 14 years of professional football to come yet. He won't reach his peak for another 7-8 years. So all this is all icing on the cake. He's that good now. What's going to be like when he's 25, 26?
Yeah. Yep. Kev says might not play Dupes tomorrow, so he's not cup tight for potential buyers. Well, it seems he's off to Saudi in January, Kev, if you believe the reports this morning. They're not even linking him with any other team over here. It's Saudi that he seems to be going to. So the cup tie wouldn't be an issue. Lemon T says, Lewis Hall would be my starting left back for any team in the world already. Could genuinely see him at Real Madrid, most suited to that style. I just wanted to say that you did a great job last night, letting your guests talk and sitting back for Sam to take the lead. Brilliant interview. Thank you very much. Much appreciated. Fubar says, good morning, everyone. Late again to the stream. Thankfully, Mudryk has been banned now before the transfer window. Knowing our luck, we would have signed him. Then he would have got the ban.
Imagine.
Where's that happened before? Has that happened to us before, Billy? Last 10 matches, Newcastle United have won 7, Brentford have won 2 and 1 ended in a draw. How are the lads? And look, the history of results against Brentford is definitely on our side.
However, we have played them in the quarterfinals of this cup before.
Yes, and we all know what happened then. I believe, didn't they play their second string team down there? And we played our first team and got battered.
And they were in the championship at the time.
Absolutely. It was their promotion season, wasn't it?
Yeah.
They came up that season. It was when there was still obviously closed doors. There was no crowd in the stadium, but Steve Bruce was our manager. So that was a horrific night, Billy. And we had plenty of them. You look back at the Sheffield United game and etc. But that was a real chance. And Steve Bruce, I mean, he might look back and think that was a huge opportunity to take Newcastle to Wembley.
Yeah.
Because whichever way you look at it, we should have won that game.
Without any shadow of a doubt. And he just was found wanted, as he always was.
Paul Chollerton, thank you for your super chat. He says, just a small donation for Red Nose Day, lads. Yeah, Billy's gleaming today. I think that's the best word to put it, isn't it? Gleaming.
I'm running it all. Quite horrible.
Well, Billy, you know what it is. You need to get the old Cala gas heaters there, right under your table. And
I've got one now. I haven't reached down to turn it on, to be fair.
That's the thing, Billy. You do have to turn them on, mate,
yes,
to generate the heat. Otherwise,
I can plug it in now because I've got room on my desk now. My old router's gone.
Well, there you go. I mean, the wireless is holding up, Bill. Perfect. We're getting no funny flashes on the screen, Billy. We're getting a clear picture.
Strange, ain't it?
Well, it is. It's amazing what a decent internet does, Billy. Choppy says, I think that typifies Steve Bruce as a head coach getting beat off Brentford's second team.
Yes.
Oh, it was awful. It was awful. I think I lost my temper after that game, Billy, on the in front of the camera.
I think you had a rant. Yeah, I do remember.
Yeah, very rare that I did that under Steve Bruce. He was always such a magnificent manager for us. And before you come at me, that is a joke, people. That is a joke. But really, that was it for the press conference. There wasn't any nitty-gritty stuff to get into, to be honest. I think that Eddie was... I got the feeling Eddie was wanting to get out there and get out there and get on the training field and get things sorted for tomorrow. I mean, Louise asked a question, and I still don't know what the hell she was talking about.
Part of the course for her, wasn't it?
Well, Eddie said he understood, but I don't think he did. She was banging on about something that wasn't even. She mentioned, she asked about Thomas Frank, and do you think Thomas Frank is underrated as a manager? And do you think that's a common theme in today's football about managers being underrated? What the fuck? I mean, why is she asking a question like that ahead of a massive quarter-final cup game? And again, you just sort of think, you look at Eddie and he's like, Louise, what the fuck are you talking about? But Eddie being pragmatic just says, I think I understand the question, Louise. He didn't have a Scooby-Doo. And I get the feeling, when she starts talking, all the other reporters in that room, you can't see on the camera, but I think all the other people would be like, looking at her as if to say, go away, man.
Here she goes again.
Honestly, she's when it comes to her question, you can feel the room start to freeze over.
What she wanted Denali's private medical records once on.
Well, I mean, I think, when Louise's question's coming, because Eddie he's like, And I really just think that Eddie wants to tell her where to stuff it. You know what I mean? But he doesn't.
But as far as press conferences go, I mean, it's only been 4 days since the last one. And then it's only a week before that we had the one against Brentford. So they're kind of covering both things in one go, really. They've already done it. So
yeah, it really is. I just wish she wouldn't go, because she just annoys people and then annoys us afterwards as well, who have to do these press conference reactions and think, do we have to? But the question was ridiculous, man. But anyway, that is it for now. A quick half an hour.
Interesting question there from Lemon T. Asked, have we seen much of Jack Redoney? Well, he plays for Coventry, so I've seen quite a bit of him.
Yeah.
He's scoring goals at the minute. I think he's got the right manager there, but it's feast or famine. He's either absolutely dreadful or fantastic. I think Lampard will help him. So maybe one for the future.
How's Lampard started at Coventry?
Pretty well, yeah, pretty well.
Has he? All right. Oh, well.
Lost to West Brom, but I think he's won the rest. Or drew one.
Well, there you go. Quick half an hour show for the reaction this morning. Thank you very much for joining us. That's not it for the live shows today. 7 o'clock tonight, ladies and gents, we have the Newcastle versus Brentford preview, where we'll be taking a look at trying to put a Newcastle side together, maybe look at Brentford as well, what they're going to do, and obviously prediction-wise. And, you know, it's a massive game. So please don't miss that show. And then straight after that at 8 o'clock, it's Sam and Aaron for the War Lasses show. Please, guys, give them your support. They really want to get this show up and running and get the views up as well, because they do an absolutely incredible job. A lot of prep goes into them shows from both of them. And we really want to see that show take off on this channel. So please give them your support from 8 o'clock as well. But that is it for now. Thank you very much for joining us. And we will see you all again at 7 o'clock for the preview. Have a fantastic day. What the hell am I talking about? Have a fantastic day, folks. And we will see you again at 7 o'clock. Take care.
See you later.
Come back and check out some green.